Chalk's running back. Hello, everyone.
Hello, Adrian. Sorry, I was just getting a cup of tea.
Hello, Jason. How you going, mate? Thank you very much for joining in.
Hey, Jason.
How's it going?
But we've got a kind of a different show plan for tonight because obviously you're probably well aware of all of the shitstorm over next door, and they've taken all the attention and stuff, so it makes it a little bit. We're going to be a little bit more casual tonight, and then we're going to try and hit it up again tomorrow night or tomorrow, in 24 hours time, to hopefully be a more formal sort of AMA. But we've got you're in the car, eh? At the footy. The Sharks have already played,
That is multitasking. Proud of you, Jason Mercer. Yeah.
Yeah, and geez, it must be a bit late for the kids. Like, it'd be like 11 o'clock or whatever where he is. 10 o'clock or I don't know. How big's Australia? Anyway, everyone, this is down below here is Daniel from Rev Token,
guys.
And he's got his wonderful green screen going. It's good to see you've got that all set up.
Work in progress. It's better than the old kids' room. I had planets on the wall.
Hi, Thomas Fish. I've never heard of a Thomas Fish. Thank you very much for joining up, for joining in the live stream. But this one here, like saying, is a bit more of an informal sort of live stream now because of all of the disharmony that's in the community. But of course, feel free to ask questions of Daniel and about Rev Token. We'll talk a bit about it anyway, and we'll see what we end up with, and then we'll probably be repeating.
We've already got 5 people joined us, which is
if that's the case,
great.
We're just gonna do a proper AMA. We're gonna hit him with some hard questions, and we'll see how much he can stand up to the heat.
Yeah.
Oh.
Turning the heat up.
As if, Daniel, we are like pussycats. Me and Keith.
I'm usually the one that asks the hard questions.
Oh, look who we've got, Keith the Crypto Farmer. We've got our everlasting whale miner.
Thank you, whale miner.
On every single launch live that we do.
No, whale miner's just fantastic. Thank you. He's from New Zealand. But thank you very much, Whale Miner, and hence his name, because he's a Bitcoin miner and does trading and stuff. So, if you can pass the scrutiny of Whale Miner with your project, you're doing well. Jeez, it looks like I haven't shaved for a while, isn't it? Right.
No, I just did mine yesterday.
Me too.
Yeah, my policy is as soon as it starts to itch, it's got to go.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
Dog. Great to see you, Slumdog.
Aloha. Hey there, Slumdog.
He's got a bit going on behind the scenes too, but
yeah,
we won't say anything about that, will we?
Go on.
Go on.
No, I was gonna ask a question, but carry on.
You ask a question.
Well, I was gonna, because I've been away for really a couple of weeks. I've been away doing other stuff, life and stuff. So I'm really eager to know how you two guys hooked up in the first place.
It was a random occurrence. No, just kidding.
The main thing is in the Brew DeFi, there's this guy called Jared, right?
Yeah, I know.
He's a lead fudder in there, and so I obviously spend a fair bit of time in Brew, hence why I'm all conspiracy theorist and all that sort of stuff. I make up my own mind. I do my own thing. That's it. That's just the way it is. But anyway, and I got in. Obviously, I get to talking to lots of people, and I got talking to Jared, as I do with pretty much anyone, and he was telling me that they're launching a project, And so I asked if I could have a look at it and whatever. And so yeah, he sent me all the information on it, and then we talked a lot about it, all the ins and outs and whatever. And I liked what they were doing, so it was like, I want to try and help you guys out with what little I have to help you with. And so it was like, sure thing. So is anyone prepared to live stream? And Jared said, well, he sort of is, but Daniel said that he voluntarily is. So I was like, beauty. Well, I don't have much of a stage, but we can at least try and, give you some sort of help. And so it's all sort of fueled on from there. So these two guys have been fantastic to me. We've had a lot of discussions behind the scenes. They're, as much as I can say, they're as genuine as it can come as well. They're doing the right stuff. Obviously, like you'll hear about their project and, the safeguards instilled in the project to help build confidence and trust within the community. But that's for them to, tell people what it is that they're doing. But I like the ideas that they've come up. I'm looking at stealing some of their ideas. So Daniel helped me with that one. And it's all mutual, so it's all good. We're all helping one another out. But they've got some good ideas, and I like the idea because we need that in this space, is to teams to collaborate and work together, and just hopefully for the common goal of I know you got each other's community. Can't they somewhat be interlocked and be helping one another? Like
exactly.
I'm not greedy, they're not greedy, so it's all good. Like investors are allowed to spend money wherever they want. So like I'm not going to tell you what to do or not to do. Like it's totally up to you. With your money, you do whatever you want. But like I'm forming collaborations with what I believe is good projects. So that's where I stand,
Cool. Well, I want to hear more, is what I want to hear. But before we do that, Jeff Mercer, he's a wise man. Look at him. Hit the like, push notifications, and click on alerts. Exactly. Come on, Jason's telling you. Come on, gang. Let's have a few. And
by all means, ask any questions, guys. There's nothing off limits as such. I obviously don't want to really get in too much of the Vulcan stuff if we're going to talk Rev, because Join Prado and that, they're all talking about that. I don't care about that, so to speak. This is Rev's way of, hopefully in our way we can help them get the word out there to people that they're a project doing good things, or even though they haven't really launched yet, but they have all intentions of doing good things. But we'll find out what the deal is with them, and we'll see what they're up to.
Let's jump on in. Let's just do it. Let's just do it.
So Chalk, you're the master sharer. Did you want to share the website or something? And
I can do.
I sent it to you.
I know. I'm a busy girl. I've had things on this morning. You know me. I've always got something going on. But yeah, hold on. So I'm just going to get the website.
Don't worry, Daniel. We'll get to you soon. We're going to
Daniel,
pull it to bits first before we talk to you.
All right. You're good.
This is how we rock and roll. And I'll be honest, I haven't, since you sent it to me earlier this morning, I haven't had a chance to look at it.
I know.
But we'll go through it together. So can you see that?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, actually, Daniel, I don't know if you want to take us through this as it's your website. Do you want to talk us through and I can just tap through as we go, or shall I just?
Yep.
I mean, that's fine. I can kind of go through it. That video you're watching right now is we've essentially are launching on Grove Swap, and that's planned for the 26th. So we have a little video about it. We had done a pink sale, and we set the soft cap too high on the pink sale to be able to launch. So we've kind of restructured and looked at other opportunities, and the 1.5 million tokens that were scheduled to be sold on Pink Sale for the public sale are now going to be burnt instead of sold. So now we're going from a 10 million token down to an 8.5 million token essentially.
Okay.
And 42% of that, which is 4.2 million tokens, will be blacklisted. And once we launch, the contracts are announced. So that 42% just makes it even less. And now you're looking at 4.3 million tokens that are available for, we have 2.1 mil for the liquidity pairing. But yeah, that's what that video is about. And we're going to have a kickoff party for when we burn the tokens, probably on the 24th or the 25th.
Okay.
Depending on schedules and stuff.
So obviously, just peeking in at your website, this feels very much you're absolutely clear that this is about community. The contract's being renounced. It's about honesty, transparency, and trust. So I think one of the things we were going to ask, and sorry, I'm jumbling up questions and I'm jumping in. I hope you don't mind.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Trust is, I mean, the reason I kind of bound myself to keep under the certain projects is because for me, trust, honesty, integrity, especially integrity, transparency is absolutely everything. So I'd love to hear more about how are you going to bring honesty, transparency, and trust into this token.
But I'll just put in 2 seconds worth here. That's why I wanted to bring you in, Talk, and you haven't even looked at it yet. And so you're looking at it as a clean slate. We have not prepared you at all with anything that Rev is doing. So you're looking at it with fresh eyes. And I understand that, what your beliefs and morals and ethics are. So, I'm looking forward to hearing more of what you got to say when you see what you're coming up with.
Well, our website looks a little bit cleaner. The background is supposed to be it's a video of kind of like the ocean and waves. It looks really nice, but I guess that's might be broken on the back end. I'll have to get that taken care of. But it looks really nice with the whole Rev logo and everything.
Cool.
But,
yeah. No, the water looks really cool on the proper one. Yeah.
Yeah, it works on mobile. So if you want to check out the water, definitely look at the mobile version. But I think we're having some issue between desktop and mobile version. And
there's always things going on until you get it all sorted out.
Yeah, but then you can't change it because as soon as you change something breaks.
Oh, that's just unbelievable, isn't it? Like it's just unreal how that happens.
Yeah, but moving into what we're doing with honesty, trust, and transparency. Yeah. So a few of the things, and I can kind of talk about individual ones if we want. But the first one being is we have no team tokens. So just like everybody that buys into Rev, the team needs to buy into Rev also. So we're a community project, and we don't feel that you need team tokens because you're essentially dumping tokens on your community holders to finance or develop what your vision is. So that we don't feel is right, and that's a problem that can be had depending on how it's structured. But no team tokens is a really good thing. So when we launch on Grove, the LP will be locked as well for that. The other part of it is Jared and I, we both doxed ourselves.
Okay. So if I go to the team.
Yeah.
Okay. So there's Jared. So that's what he looks like.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So we've got a little bit there about Jared and obviously yourself. Danielle, fantastic.
Oh, the names match. That's good.
Yeah.
So one of the things we decided to do is different for the transparency aspect is in the Discord we have clear visibility of the team and who they are, so our bios and stuff are actually within the Discord, and then also we have our utilities. So a lot of times, a lot of projects have behind the scenes workings, and they'll wait till it's completely ready to release it. which we try to make sure things are moving along correctly to be able to release it, because we don't want to release just ideas out. We want to have something that's going to structure and be in place. And I actually have to make this live, but right now we have business utilities and service utilities, and I've kind of broken them up a little bit different structure, which I'll put live on our Discord probably after this AMA. But the businesses that we will be investing in, if we have those set up and structured, right now we have a partnership with my coffee business. I've decided to do exposure in exchange for a percentage of the profit. So, I'm essentially splitting the profit of the coffee with Rev when somebody uses the coupon code. So, it's essentially them acting as a wholesaler in like real world terms.
Oh my God.
But they don't have to do anything. Like, I take care of all the shipping, I take care of everything. So they just market, like anybody in Rev can market with the coupon code. And then, right now it's $2 a bag would go towards Rev. $1 split between, or $1 going to development, $1 going to the LP pairing liquidity protocol. So that's, a use case of our utilities. And then as I get it cheaper, because right now my limitation, the coffee's from Vietnam, so I import it over. And once I do bulk or larger orders, as I sell more, the price I pay will come down, because right now shipping is $7 a bag. It's pretty expensive. So as I get that down, that $2 will increase, because I'll continue to split the profit with, essentially the wholesalers. So as things regulate price wise, that will increase. And
always got to grow your business. Like, that's just the way it is. Economies of scale.
Yeah. It's a way to bring in, external revenue, which is what DeFi really needs, because if you're bringing some type of liquidity, you're just shuffling funds around, which, taxing them as well. But that's our take on that. I have another business utility, which I'll a little bit later in the stream. And then we have our service utilities, which I'm still working on a lot of the framework, but we'll be doing
payments. Understand that Seifu.
That's okay. So we have AMA. We'll do KYC. We're also going to do marketing exposure as well as public relations. So because I have businesses set up and I'm a really good writer for a lot of stuff, I'm working on PR publications and trying to get approved on places like Yahoo Finance and other, so I can actually write articles and market on there, the correct way. But that's something we can offer as a service as well.
Sorry, I've just hopped into the audit. You have an audit on the website, which I haven't looked at. Is there anything you need to highlight there, or?
Hang on one sec. My daughter did not listen to me.
Okay, she can come on too.
I don't know how old she is, but she's only little, and I had the goat here the other day, so she absolutely loved it.
Oh, yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, I'm busy. Just stay upstairs, okay?
Oh, Daniel, I feel your pain.
Sorry about that.
No, it's fine. We're a family-friendly show.
Yeah, she's 4. I have a 6-year-old son as well. But
No
the audit, essentially anything you see in red becomes green once we renounce. So essentially be 100% on it once we renounce. We have to have like the blacklist function to be able to blacklist the wallet, so that it can never be sold. So it's like a catch-22. But
yeah. Okay, that's cool. Great. Let me just go back to where was I?
The thing is with audits, they work on the here and now, not what it's going to do.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. They said they'll amend that for us. Once we do renounce.
Yeah. And obviously you have the white paper.
We call that the black paper.
Oh, it's the black paper. I'm loving it. Well, why not? Be different. We love it like that. I mean, so why don't we talk? Obviously, we've come across the black paper. Do you want to take us through maybe the tokenomics, what Rev Token's all about?
Sure. So we're essentially a rewards token, and we call it rewards instead of reflections, because the 10% fee structure for buy and sell. So it's 10% for buy and sell and 0% for transfer. That fuels everything. So we're essentially volume driven.
Yeah.
And that distributes Matic instead of the native token. So we're rewarding instead of reflecting. And that also helps to, when we do our LP protocol for pairing, that helps to it doesn't fully eliminate, but it reduces the red candles drastically. So we're not selling large chunks of the native tokens to do the distribution.
Okay.
So
how much I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is cool.
Yeah. We're trying to work out ways to make it so that way it doesn't ever produce a red candle, but that's kind of stuff in progress, and that might be like a V2 a year or two down the road. But
yeah,
right now we don't have any. We're not even launched, but we don't have any plans for V2.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's we have 21% of the tokens is for the liquidity pairing, 21% of the tokens that are blacklisted for the liquidity protocol, and then 21% for the development wallet. So of the tax structure, those two wallets that equal 42% will receive rewards, and they're specifically for the LP pairing, which would be additional injections, and then the development. So those are the funds that we have to work with for either marketing, advertising, or doing the business utilities. So we're mainly volume driven, and we're working out ways to control that so it can be continuous. So if everybody holds all their tokens, we still have ways of bringing in the external revenue into Rev, and that in itself will create volume, because people will take profits, and then other people will want to get in because they see the profits coming in as well.
Just for one idea for you that I found is that I set up some other LP pools, and that helped volume even when volume was low, because it allowed arbitrage bots to do their thing with the LP pairs that you set up. So if you've got other projects or whatever you can set LP pairs up with, then it's very difficult for a person to manually do it, but you'll get, as soon as it's known in the space, like, because of course arbitrage bots see it there on the blockchain, when they see an opportunity to take advantage, they do it. And so sometimes that can be a good thing by having alternate LP pairs as well, because it increases your volume without really increasing people flow, so to speak, because it's bots doing their thing, trading a token. It's surprising how that actually works quite positively in the background for collecting the rewards. Everyone gets a benefit out of that happening, because of course they get the rewards for that taking place. And I at one stage had quite high sales tax on Calf, and the arbitrage bots were still doing their thing, just like when it was lower. So being at 10%, I don't see that being an issue with being able to get that extra stimulated volume, if that's the path in which you choose. It's just food for thought.
Yeah, we will eventually have, so after we launch on Grove, we're anticipating a decent bit of volume, and the volume will fuel the development wallet, which we'll also be able to do, and the LP protocol. We'll be able to do other pairings, so we can do Rev BNB. We can research other chains and do other pairings, and that creates the ARB opportunities, whether it be either bots doing it or people doing that to make a little bit of profit for their time. But yeah, that does drive volume, or at least helps with it.
Yeah.
Very cool. Right. Where are we? Let's have a look. You've talked a little bit about utilities. Obviously, you've talked about your coffee business, which
there's more to it now.
Yeah, the coffee business, I had hoped to launch today. The website, it's one of my real life friends that is doing the site for me. He's paid, but I got the friends and family discounts. I also get the friends and family timeline.
Fantastic. All right, I love it.
So yeah, it's a bit delayed, but it should be either later today, tomorrow, or hopefully Monday at the latest. We're pretty much done. It's just little bits here and there.
Fantastic. Do you have a name of the coffee business, or is it secret until it's launched?
Oh no, it's Keystone Coffee.
Ooh, do you ship internationally?
So I can. So I shipped one of our community members some bags actually a couple days ago to the Netherlands, and shipping was $80, and it's about $35 in duties. So it's rough.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's like $120 for 3 bags plus the cost of 3 bags. Depending on the quantity, like if you have a good bit of people that would like to try it, I can have it shipped directly from Vietnam because I import it from Vietnam. It's 100% whole bean Vietnamese coffee. So I can work it out better that way. I think the duties are a little different through Vietnam than the US. The US is just expensive and everything. But there's definitely opportunities for drop ship, or if anybody wants to set up wholesaling, in other parts of the world, that's something that can be worked out as well.
Wow. I only ask because I'm married to a coffee fiend. He is crazy about coffee. Crazy. But I hadn't when you were talking about your coffee business earlier, I hadn't quite cottoned on that's also a brand new kind of launch. So that's really exciting. So what made you choose coffee? It's just a love of yours, or do you have experience of it? Or
so I personally love coffee. I used to like all different types of coffee, and unfortunately now I can't drink any other coffee. Everything else tastes like either water or it just doesn't taste good. My wife has been an avid instant coffee drinker for 6, 7, 8, 9 years ish.
Yeah.
And she switched over. She can't go back to the instant coffee. So it comes with a warning. You may not like your traditional coffees anymore.
That's funny.
But
it's amazing how it changes so much, isn't it? Like it really does.
Well, 70% of the beans that are harvested around, and this is just globally, are considered subpar or the lowest quality. So you're only left with 30%. 10%, about 10% of that is considered your ultra high quality beans. Another 10% is within like a growing range of elevation. So another 10% is just outside the peak areas where they have a little bit too much temperature fluctuation, and they're considered high quality beans. And then you have the last 10%, which is a little bit above the subpar category, but it's still considered like a good quality bean. So it's hard to get beans.
And the global supply on coffee beans is really tight. Like they're limited growing areas, and the volume, like it's so close to its peak production that it's not funny. It's just one of those things. I don't know what would happen to the world if it went without coffee, though. Be bloody wars going on.
Well, I'd have a divorce on my hands for starters, because the current Mr. Chalk, that's one of his passions in life, and if that disappeared, I don't know what he'd do. So but yours is like a classic case of I loved it so much I bought the company kind of thing. So you love this coffee so much that you're setting up a little business around it, and that business is now becoming obviously intertwined with the Rev Token online, which I personally love, because another passion of mine in terms of crypto is to have a real life utility, whatever that is. And that's why I've kind of hooked in with Keith so much, because of his gorgeous carves and the link into the real world, which is which is fantastic. But you've kind of got the same thing going on, which is interesting. But it does provide a little bit more risk as well, because you've also then got the real life business, and what happens if something goes awry with that? So, how are you then securing that coffee business in order to prevent any issues there or any bad actors, either in the real world or in the crypto world?
So the pairing with like the crypto, so it's essentially I would be moving funds onto the blockchain based upon what was sold, and then essentially splitting that and sending half to the development wallet, half to the LP protocol.
Yeah.
But as far as the real world business, for real businesses, I try to set it up where it essentially manages itself. So like a little back history, my wife's Vietnamese. Her high school friends, because she lived in Vietnam for half her life and she's lived here for the other half. So her high school friends launched and started the coffee business over there, and she roasts all the beans. She has stores in Vietnam, and she's trying to grow. She's getting better locations and stuff. So we're supporting her by bringing basically distribution to the U.S. But she has a lot of contracts set up with between 100 and 300-year-old groves. So it's very old groves that produce really good beans. So she's really done her research on getting premium stuff. But the biggest pain point I would have via coffee is if I start selling outside her capacity. So that's why I've done this for about 2 years now, but it's been small batches, selling to friends, family, different people. But then it got to the point where I need to have a website, because that really helps support my wife's friend a lot more.
Yeah.
Well, my oldest brother actually has a Vietnamese wife as well, and she's just immigrated to Australia a few years ago, and but I don't know where from exactly. I can't remember. But obviously, such a beautiful country over there. Like, it's amazing country, Vietnam. Their coastlines and stuff, their mountains and stuff, it's just unreal. It's beautiful. But of course, it's to live there, it's much tougher than being in our countries. It's just the way it is. But I wonder whether the Australia's pretty close to Vietnam. I wonder if we could get your coffee sent down here.
Yeah, I mean, I have to send her an email and ask her a date, like an address, and then I can kind of figure out, because she quotes out the shipping costs to try to get the best shipping. So like right now, the best shipping rates I can get outside of like very large bulk it's 21 kilos, ends up being 23 kilos with all the packaging. So that's 42 bags. So 42 bags is a good bit of change for trying something. So I'll try to figure out how much it would cost to. It's definitely a lot cheaper than me shipping it to Australia, because the US is like $30-some a pound for internationally, which is just ludicrous. But the postal service loves their profits.
Shipping is it's the bane of everybody's life, isn't it? I know it's an absolute necessity, but it's just, you come up with great product. One comes up with a great product, and then you just look at shipping. It's like,
if you don't pay the truck driver, you don't get your goods.
Well, no, that's it.
They all deserve their paycheck just like anyone else.
Completely and utterly.
Yeah.
But it's just the thing about global commerce is that when you're shipping, like solid goods, of course they take volume and weight, and like, unfortunately, you just got to. It comes with a cost, and everyone wants their profit along the way, and that's just the way it is.
Yeah. Lots of middlemen.
Lots.
Sorry, Jason, you didn't win. Actually, I could send him some calf V2. Yeah.
Oh, you could.
Yeah, I could, but he won't get it. Like he'll get it, but he won't get it airdropped.
Oh, Jason, you've won many a time, my friend, let me tell you. And you win just by watching us here right now. So there you go.
That's right.
It depends on your definition of win. I heard somebody kind of do a little skit about a week or two ago. They would go around asking people if, they wanted $10 million right now. And of course, people would say yes, but then it's like, well, what's the condition? And he says, well, you die at the end of the day. And people would be like, well, no, I wouldn't do that. I said, no. And he says, well, then tomorrow morning, wake up like you're worth $1 million because you're worth more. Your life's worth more than that money. So, everybody's kind of a winner as long as you wake up in the morning.
That is very true. My God, that is very true, my friend. Yes. Oh, sorry. Sorry.
Oh. We're doing ping pong again. We're doing ping pong again.
Oh, thank you, Jason. And just picking up on exactly what you just said, Daniel. I lost a very, very dear friend very recently, and we said goodbye to her yesterday. And what you say is absolutely true. We should be absolutely grateful for every single day that we have, and that's a win.
Mm-hmm.
But that's where, like, personally, I just want this space, like the crypto space, not to give people the shits. So then you live your life and get to do your thing without having fear of getting rugged or funds stolen or just malicious things happening. That's why, like, I gravitate towards, certain projects and people because it's what's, like, life's too short to be bothering with just controversy and scammy shit, and it's just like, come on, it's just too painful. It's just too hard. Like,
absolutely.
Why do you want to deal with it?
So anybody, I know we don't have many watching, but if you do have any questions for Daniel, please just throw them in the chat and we will bring them up. But Daniel, let's talk about the bane of every token's existence, which is volume. So because every token needs volume in order to, I guess, ultimately succeed. So do you have plans in terms of avoiding low volume, combating low volume? Let's talk about that for a bit.
Yeah, so essentially with our fee structure, we are completely volume driven. If we don't have volume, we're not going to have funds to do marketing and development. But this is why through our utilities, we have service utilities that are being built, which will bring in external funds either from real life or through DeFi space. And then we have our business utilities. So when people think of startup businesses and such, not every business needs cash. It's just like, oh, I need, 10,000 or 50,000 to launch my business. Not every business needs that. So I'm just need exposure. Maybe somebody's really good at what they do. They've developed a great business plan. They've launched a business, but they don't know how to market, and they can't afford, especially if they're in the US, they can't afford a $50,000, $60,000 marketing plan. It's just, it's too much. So, we can provide exposure, especially as our community grows, we can grow with them, but essentially the best interest of Rev would be some form of monetary compensation for that. So, the more utilities we can bring into the space, whether it be through exposure or maybe through writing publications, different aspects of it to bring in that revenue, and that revenue is what will essentially start driving volume more. So it'll be a self-driven and a self-advertising, because if you have money coming in, every month or every couple of weeks, depending on how many projects or utilities we have developed, people are going to see that. So if everybody just buys and holds, they're eventually going to reach a point in their life where they want to sell. They want to take some profits out, emergencies or different things. And then other people will see that, like, hey, these people keep talking about getting money nonstop, and like they've 10 times their ROI. And that will drive volume as well. So it's really utility driven, and the more volume is the more we can do with those utilities.
Very cool. Where does the actual name come from? Rev? Is it revolutionary? Is it revenue? Or is it just you like the sound of it?
So it's revenue. It can mean a lot of things. Because our basis for the token is to bring in external revenue. So we always believe in a fair exchange. And that's why it's like we want the money, obviously, because that's what our holders want. But we have to provide a fair exchange for that. And for businesses we link up, they have to be realistic as well. If we get big enough that we have $100,000 to essentially fund a startup, and they meet all the criteria, which is a whole nother aspect that's being built, and I could talk about it if we need to, but they have to provide something that's worth that. Okay. We're not looking for, a loan service or something else. We're looking for that long-term sustainability.
Yeah.
When you see me do my little hand signals here, I'm just doing hand signals to the messages.
We just thought you were dancing or something.
I'm playing charades, like.
Yeah, good question. Where are all the Rev Discordians? I think we have one.
I'm just going, Thomas, I don't know.
Sleeping, maybe. Saturday morning, yeah.
Thomas Fish, I think he's probably one from the Rev Discord. Is that right? He seems like a big fan. How many people do you have in your Discord currently? Do you know?
Right now we've got like a little over 1.3 thousand.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, the DeFi space is interesting because you have a lot of silent investors, as you could say. They're there, they're lurking, but they never talk. And that's very typical of the space, especially unless you become like emotionally invested in the project or highly monetarily invested, then you see people start pop up more because they have questions and things they'd like to ask.
Yeah.
But that's why, like I find with the Discord, it's good to put out at everyone, but not very often, like not too often, because people like to see what like legitimate at everyone's, like getting tagged, but they just will turn off your Discord if you do it too much. And just give you, and just say, I'm sick of your Discord just giving too many announcements all the time. And then I'll just go to other Discords. Thank you very much, Thomas Fish.
Thank you, Thomas.
Thank you very much for joining us. Absolutely.
Yeah, please. We appreciate it. We don't have a lot of views at the moment, but obviously what does happen is then people will catch up with this video afterwards.
We normally end up, Chalk gets somewhere between 50 and 100 as a rule afterwards, and I get somewhere around 20 to 30 afterwards. So, we should be able to reach about 100 odd people. So as a general rule, it's not too bad for just a small stage, small project, small stages. We're doing our thing. It's we can only try, can't we?
Absolutely. And so obviously there's a Discord. We should probably add the link to the Rev.
It's already in there.
Look at this. It's almost like, what you're doing, Keith, Crypto Farmer.
In the description says a website link and a Discord link. Perfect. And there's also the information for Calf and that as well, which is just my standard message that I put on every video. But above that, right at the very top, I put the Rev Token stuff, which is their website and Discord. And I made the Discord never ending, so hopefully it works.
Brilliant.
So please, everyone, join the Rev Token Discord. And have a look at their website. It's worth a check out anyway. Have a look and see what you guys think.
Can I just ask? My head's a bit muddled, and as I say, Daniel, unfortunately, before usually doing an AMA like this, I'd be doing my research and know all about the project before I ask you questions, but I haven't had the opportunity to. So forgive me if this is a bit of a dumb question. But obviously, you said you're launching on Grove blockchain, but and sorry, did you say reflections or rewards? I can't remember. Are being paid in Matic?
Mm-hmm. It's going to be on BEP20.
So we're launching on the Grove swap, not the blockchain.
Oh, sorry, I've got you.
Yeah. So it will be the BEP20, and we'll essentially the BEP20 version of Matic is what will be distributed.
Got you.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So it works pretty cool how you can do that.
That is
Yeah,
cool,
it's good.
actually. I don't think I've come across that before.
And you can actually do the same with ETH as well. So you know, it's actually good like that, how you can do that. Calf is going to be on the Grove blockchain. So that's a different thing again, where the we're going to be paired with Grove coin, not with Grove token. Whereas they're paired with Grove token because it's the BEP20. Yeah.
That makes sense.
So that's where there's actually a bit of arbitrage opportunities within Grove itself between Grove token and Grove coin as well that gets a bit of price action as well. So, you know, they've obviously got up their different liquidity pairs that allow for arbitrage opportunities between the two as well. So, yeah.
Very cool.
Hi, Joe.
Yeah. There's your moderator.
Yeah.
Or
yeah, she's great.
Hi.
Yeah,
Hi
she's really good. Hi, Joan. She's actually,
hey, Joan.
Just for the hell of it, I just when anyone joins Calf at the minute, I just give them OG status, and that's why, like, you get these new guys coming in from Rev, and I just make them all go orange because, like, as you know, it's you could hear any piece of paper drop in that Discord at the moment. So anyone that wants to pop in there and say g'day, please do, because I like to hear from you. Even if it's just to say g'day and then I say g'day and then you go about your way, that's great. But, you know, please just, you know, join up to the Calf Discord and say g'day. I am working with these guys to try and, you know, promote and to, you know, it goes both ways, I know.
Share the love is what we're trying to do.
Help each other out. Yeah, that's right. And, you know, like, we mightn't have the biggest of stage, but we're doing what we can in the space that we've got. And I've actually got over 600 now on TikTok too, Chalk.
Oh, have you now? Have you been cheating?
No. Would I do that?
No, of course not. Blimey.
Look at that.
I think you've been cheating. But we're allowed to cheat. That's okay.
Would I cheat?
No, of course not.
I've got to get 400 more.
We'll
so please join my TikTok too. I know that some people don't like TikTok, but join my TikTok and I've got TikTok, Instagram, Telegram, Discord, you name it. I've got everything. YouTube, of course. You know, like, just share the love, everyone, and just join everyone's profiles, subscribe to everyone. And, you know, like, let's help each other out by just, you know, participating in everyone's channels and try and help build these communities because we all know we need it. Thank you, Jason. Take care, mate.
Have a good night.
Thanks.
Good night, Jason.
Bye. So, Daniel, you've been speaking my language today because if anybody prioritizes trust and integrity and transparency and honesty, then I'm there. You've got me. I'm a captive audience.
Well, look,
so
45 odd % is blacklisted, right? But it's just the reason for that is just to get the rewards. So then those rewards is what they can use for, you know, business expenses, whether it be marketing or whatever it might be, you know, like investments into whatever. And that's very much the same, if you realize it, that I'm doing with Calf, which is have a treasury that, but my treasury isn't blacklisted because I use it. But essentially that treasury earns rewards going to be in growth coin for, guess what? It's exactly the same type of purpose that that I found in Rev. And that's why, of course, I gravitate to Rev because that's what they're doing. They've got the same sort of mindsets. And that's why I knew you would be interested to hear what they've got going on.
Definitely. And we have Thomas who's sorry.
Oh, geez, did you kill it again?
Me and Keith, look, we're almost like identical twins. I know we don't look alike.
I know. It's amazing how that
at the same time.
I know, it's amazing how often that happens. Within a second, we're doing it, and it's like, seriously, like,
I was spiritual twins.
Spiritual twins is what we are. Oh my God! So listen, Daniel, just talk us through, if you will. So obviously we've got the Discord, we've got the website. If people want to get involved, talk us through, just, I know you mentioned it at the beginning, what is the timeline on this? How do people go about, once they've done their research, how do they go about potentially getting into Rev?
Yeah, so on the 26th, which is next Saturday, we'll be launching on the Grove Swap, and I'm not sure the exact time yet. That'll be hammered out where it goes live. But essentially, you can
whatever suits me.
Yeah.
So just not those stupid hours of the morning.
All about me.
When do you sleep again?
Never.
Yeah, you ask people on Discord, and I don't.
Yeah. So you essentially go on to the Grove Swap, connect your wallet, and swap out. What I don't know is if you have to swap to Grove and then swap to Rev, or if the swap automatically will do that pairing.
Okay.
I haven't worked out the exact details of that yet, but you'll be able to pretty much go on the Grove Swap and change your BNB into Rev.
Fantastic. So people have approximately about a week to get into Discord, to look at the website, to do their own research, and potentially to get involved, which is grand.
As far as I'm aware, you'd have to swap BNB to Grove on the BEP20 with just Grove token, and then use that to buy Rev. That's the way I would think it would have to work, because it's a Grove Rev pairing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But essentially, that's what would happen. It's just what I don't, because I haven't personally used Grove Swap yet. So there's a lot of swaps.
Yeah, that bit I don't know. Yeah, that's a good point.
Do it in the background where you say, I want to exchange BNB to Rev, and it will swap it to Grove and swap it to Rev in a like a multi transaction.
That is a good point.
Yeah, it just depends on how much they want their users to do, and like how they structure what's considered the price impact or the slippage, different things. So
yeah.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah, I'll try and get an answer to that as soon as I can, and I'll put up a announcement in the Calf Discord at least, and let the Rev guys know. I even put it in the Rev Discord as well. Unless of course I'll get beaten to it, but I'll ask the Grove team about that, exactly how that works with Grove Swap, because obviously I'm interested, because I want to know how it works. So
fantastic.
We'll
figure it out. So
right now.
So Daniel, is there anything that you feel you haven't covered in this that you really want to tell our little audience, but will be bigger audience, about Rev? Why should we be excited about it? Why should we get involved? This is your spot.
My floor, yeah. So although it was limited, it definitely covered. I'm shaking my own desk. It definitely covered most of what we do. I could go on for essentially eternity about the pain points of DeFi and how each of our utilities combats that. Like one of them is the KYC service. So
sorry, you mentioned that earlier, but I don't think we kind of expanded. Tell us a little bit more about that.
So the biggest issue with KYC, and I have a very legal mindset for what I do. It's just very analytical and logical thinking as well. But the KYC in the industry is essentially what I consider a money grab. So you sign up, you send them your documents, your government issued documents. They supposedly, air quoted, verify who you are, and then the only thing they do essentially is if they get approached by the legal authorities, which at that point they would have to, because a higher legal body has basically subpoenaed the information or requested it. But there's no agreements. There's no nothing. I've talked to one, which I won't name. It's supposed to be a very reputable company for doing KYC, and I believe they're in Europe. somewhere as well, but they
dodgy.
So I'm like, well, what type of legal documentation do you have? And it's like, oh, you click the agree button on the website when you submit your information. I'm like, that's not a legally binding document. So that's one of the things we're doing different is the KYC service will be offsite backup of all the information. Only one person will be doing it. I would be doing the KYC. So there's a confidentiality agreement, and you can break that confidentiality agreement with basically doing something illegal or doing something extremely shady where you're rugging your community or you're slowly trying to bleed your community dry. There's different things. And once you break that confidentiality agreement, we can't publicly post legal documents and the information, obviously. But we can then put it out there, say, hey, this person in our Discord, this person had our insignia, which says they passed our KYC service. They did something illegal that warranted the breaking confidentiality. So that's then posted. If you have suffered a loss enough that you wanted to seek legal counsel, have your lawyer write up a letter for that and send it to me. And then I can, since the confidentiality agreement's broken, I can then release that information. But I can also, with that agreement, send that to the authorities of your country. Say you ran away with 20 million, I'm going to be looking up whoever's responsible for doing that department, and that information is getting sent over. And you signed that. So legally I can do that versus the way the KYC setup is. Technically, legally, I can't.
Wow.
They can't do anything, like nothing. They can't, because it's government issued ID. So they can't just, post it online. They can't give it out. It's only if requested. So it's essentially, hey, give me some money and I'll give you a great old check mark,
Yeah. That's really interesting. And another example of how DeFi is just hoodwinking so many people with
there's
empty
no regulation.
promises.
We need to, as a community in DeFi, we need to start setting up and self-regulate and put things in place from essentially the real world to mitigate these problems. Otherwise, because if somebody rugs, and I've spoken to lawyers about this, to essentially fight for your money with the laws. I mean, you're looking at least $10,000 to $15,000 in legal costs for probably a 30% win rate, depending on what they did and how they did it. And that's per person. Once you can get a legal case open in your native state to essentially sue somebody, you can have international and also in the States join up and do it sort of a class action. But then it costs more money and everything. So a lot of these ruggers or scammers, I mean, they're stealing. If they stole $500 from you, you're not going to pay $15,000 in legal costs.
No, of course not.
Yeah. So it's ducking under the radar because they can. And that's another big issue.
And as a community, what really disappoints me about DeFi is because of the obstacles in place, as you've just described, it's a shrug of the shoulders and kind of go, well, you should have done your research more and what do you expect? And that's just not good enough, is it? It's just not good enough anymore.
And you can do your own research, but if the information is not there, I mean, what are you going to, you're only researching the available info. So
yeah. Well, I'm a big fan of any project that is making any moves in recognizing these huge challenges and doing something about it. So I certainly will be I'll be joining the Discord and doing a little bit more research myself. But it sounds really interesting and right up my alley, that's for sure.
I'm going to do something that YouTubers normally do, is that this is not financial advice. We're not telling you what to do or not to do. You make up your own mind, do your own due diligence, go and look at their Discord, their website, their white paper, and you'll see the teams fully doxed and all the information's there. Their contracts being renounced. You look at the safeguards that they have on their project and you put that with your own learnings to figure out whether this is a project for you or not. But yeah, definitely this is not financial advice. You work it out. It's totally all up to you. There you go. Look at that. But that is the most important thing in this space. Like, we're living through it right now with Vulcan and all of the Seifu stuff. Like, you know, like, do your own research, you work it out. And, you know, like, unfortunately, at the end of the day, you've got to accept responsibility for your own actions. But I'm doing the best I can to surround myself and Calf and whatever is that I'm doing with people that are honorable and doing the right thing. That's why hopefully I can bring some. Oh, look at this.
Oh, did it again.
Here.
Oh my God. You do it. You do it.
You see how that happens? Like,
You
seriously, like, who did what first? We don't know. It happens that quick. Hi, Jared.
Hello, Jared.
Great to see you.
He's come at the right time too.
Yeah, we seen your mug on the on your website.
Oh, yeah.
Even though I've actually talked to you live, so like I know who you are. But and that photo is actually Jared too, by the way, if you're wondering. And Jared's going to join me on live streams too. He wants to regularly do it. Apparently, he was telling me that.
That's cool.
He really. I'm going to see if I can go do a bit of fishing here. Fishing. But apparently Jared's going to join me on live stream at some stage. And we'll see how we go from there. So yeah, maybe he'll, you know, give his as long as you know that it's just shits and giggles, it's all right. That's all it is. It's all good. Your perspective on what it is that you're doing. You know, I like to talk to senior fudders. Who wouldn't? But yeah, no, seriously, guys, like we're trying to find projects which are, or bring projects to you that are doing the right thing on this channel. And yes, I've even had Prado on this channel. And the same thing goes there. I'm not advising you to or not to buy. You make up your own minds. I share the love to anyone and everyone as long as they're projects that they give their word that they're doing the right thing. Then I'll support them. That's the most important thing to me is that I want to see honesty and integrity in the space. You know, I know I've had my own hiccups, and you've seen the ups and downs, and you know I've plowed through all of that, and this is where we are today. And you know, and by the way, guys, the calf contract is actually done too.
Ooh.
So
News.
yeah, we're going through the code at the moment to make sure that it's what we want. But that's actually done now too. So it will be pretty soon. I'll be doing airdrops. I'm not sure on time frame. Within this week, I would say something like that. Over this next week, I would say that should be able to have it all finalized. But don't hold me to that because I'm not rushing it. We're just doing our thing. We'll just cross that one off when we get to it. But there'll be interesting days ahead to see what happens when we go to Grove, and we'll just see what happens.
Looking forward to
so
it.
just hopefully we'll be able to gain some exposure on their side. Like they've you know, made some pledges or, you know, commitments to what they can and won't, what they will offer. And hopefully I can use their offerings to help build a community, which of course goes to tokens that are around us and in the same little ecosystem. So that's what I want to do, is to bring exposure to, you know, obviously calf, you know, yes, but of course exposure to projects like Rev, you know, that are particularly going on to the Grove ecosystem as well, because I want the Grove blockchain to be successful, of course. If that's what we're doing, which we are, well, I want it to be as bloody good as possible, don't I? And we can all start by just doing our bit, and you know,
Indeed.
I'm trying to do my bit. So, but honesty and integrity is number one. I just don't want projects that see, you know how Kevin White does his interviews, right? They used to give out a thing which like gave some sort of assurance, there's some sort of assurances in that it won't rug. And then one of the projects rugged. It's like, and of course they've changed that in their wording now. And it's like, I don't want to be like that, guys. So as much as I have a platform and it might only be small, I'm promoting other projects, yes, but I'm not responsible for what they do. But, you know, I would hope that at the end of the day, when they talk to you man to man, and in Chalk's case, woman to man, that hopefully then, you know, like you get hopefully some honesty within that, you know, like some integrity, that they're, you know, I know it's really hard in this space because like we've all been duped in recent times by the biggest scammer there's been, like, and he had his face everywhere and doxed and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, I get that. So it makes it bloody hard, but you know, all we can do is just try and fight through this shit and build some integrity within our space. Hey, Monty. And just hopefully give our own communities the best sort of support we possibly can. And that's why I want to work with Rev. I want to work with projects that have the same sort of mindsets. I can't blow your head up much more than what I'm saying, but
I got one last section to cover if we still have some time.
Go for it.
Sure.
We'll send Chalk for another mind adventure. And you can drop the link in the description if you want, and I'll send that to you, Keith.
Obviously send it on Discord.
Yeah,
there it is.
Here, let me. HTTPS in there.
Yeah. Can you make it? Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, there you go. So we're ready to release our second business utility, but it'll be our first startup involvement. So here, Keith will put the link in there. So we've essentially partnered with a business called NanoAd. And let me bring up the paper just to make it a little easier. So essentially, let me fix this over here. I can see. So I'll read from the paper. It makes it a little easier. So NanoAd is launching an NFT line for a crowdfunding startup costs. They're looking for a total amount in exchange for profits of the company. And then there's a structure of the NFT for the essential investors. But NanoAd's developing and utilizing technology driven by an application to carve out a modest 0.05% of the advertising industry yearly. So the advertising industry does about $300 billion a year in the United States. And they're looking at pain points of the advertising industry. There's multiple pain points, and they are attacking all of those pain points in a singular application. Their business motto is essentially paying. Well, I don't want to say paying. They're rewarding users up to $10 an hour of US for their time. It basically exchange for their time, and the company would profit, around $4.32 of that $10 for the time. A lot of the information is under NDA until the app actually releases, but it's essentially the partnership with Rev in exchange for a $10,000 stake in the NFT line. Rev will be providing $5,000 through the development wallet, and the other $5,000 will be matched via the owner of NanoAd, giving the $10,000 investment. And of that, 10 of the NFTs, which would be $1,000, will be allocated towards giveaways. So in the grand scheme, Rev will have a 0.9% stake in the total profits that the company makes, which will be then distributed via the blockchain to essentially either it's the development wallet and the LP pairing, or we can do like extra rewards through Matic, or we can cycle them. It all depends on that. So it's our first startup utility. Not sure there's going to be a ton of questions. I can't hear you, Chalk. You're muted.
She talking.
Sorry, do you know what? The current Mr. I'm going. The current Mr. Chalk came through the door, and I could hear him talking to Monty the dog in the background. So I thought I'd mute myself. That sounds incredible. It's almost like you saved the best to last. And you know, so the whole marketing. Hello,
dropped off.
Hello. You know, the marketing, getting people to watch things, paying, all of that absolutely fascinates me. How did you guys kind of get involved in that? Is it connections you have, or?
So I'm the owner of NanoAd. It's a business that I've been developing for the last 6 months. It's technology that couldn't have been done 2 to 3 years ago.
Wow.
Welcome back, Keith. So it's a kind of a dream of mine to do business, and I want to be financially stable through business, and I also want to help people. So, you know, just like everybody else, I've been through rugs. I've lost a huge chunk of money due to
you have no idea either.
Many different factors. Yeah, it's close to 6 figures. We'll put it that way.
Can I just mention one name to you?
Sure.
Like, just what is it called? Safe Moon.
I don't want to create FUD. It was a huge financial loss for me. But
yeah,
you know, it's
everyone's gone through their things, but far out, man. Like, yeah.
Like that's money I could have used to launch my business, you know.
Yeah, but there's even a possibility that that Calf might have something to do with that nano thing as well. So we'll just see how that little thing goes.
That's really interesting. And so, sorry, have you given us the link? You've given us a link to NanoAds, have you?
Yep, it's nanoadnft.com.
I've chucked it I've put it in the comments.
Oh, amazing.
So please. Yeah.
Where?
Didn't update yet.
Okay.
Or sometimes things take time to update.
Yeah.
I don't know why. That sounds really interesting. I'll definitely be looking at that.
Yeah, I've essentially reached out to private investors on multiple facets, and just, you know, terms and conditions and what they want. It's unrealistic. And then all I would be doing is making the rich richer. So that's why I decided to do crowdfunding, because in a business like this, us small investors, I mean, in order to invest in a business like this, you would need to have at least $1 million in assets to be considered a certified investor to even attempt to get in on it. So I would rather money go to the individuals that believe in me and invest in the crowdfunding strategy than just give more people more money, you know?
Yeah. Wow. Sounds incredible. Well, more for us to look at.
See, it's there.
Sorry. It's in the description. Got you.
Yes.
Brilliant.
That's what I said.
I knew you said in the comments, so I was looking in the comments.
No,
here.
in the description. Yeah. I think I said comments at first, and then I changed it to description.
You know what, Daniel? We're like an old married couple, honestly.
Yeah.
But that's why, because they're doing crowdfunding, that's why I mentioned that you know, what I'm doing might have something to do with that as well. So okay. You know,
Brilliant.
that's certainly a possibility, because I'm looking at obviously real world utilities as well, because I don't want this pumpy dumpy stuff, you know, like I'm sick of these people that make NFT stuffs that you know, for argument's sake, you make a treasury like calf has a treasury, and then you make an NFT and you reward it out of the treasury. So you give them the native token. And all it does is create red candles on your chart all the time, and it just makes a mess. And that's why I don't want to do that on any of my projects. And that's why I've never done it yet, because I've never had anyone explain to me how those there work. Like it might be beneficial to the person, to the project in the short term, but in the longer term, it just turns into pumpy dumpy. And it's just annoying. And it's just, I just don't want to be involved in that sort of stuff. Hence why I haven't done it. I've had many people try and convince me, oh, this is what you must do to make your project a success. Well, if that's what I have to do is to put something in there that's going to kill me project, well, I'd rather it just die anyway. Like, it just is what it is. Like, I don't want to offer fake hopes and dreams. It's got to be tangible, real stuff. I know that crowdfunding things can go wrong and end up costing you money. I understand that. Like, we all take risk, but of course the risk is mitigated by not being over expended. Yes, please. Yeah. Look at this. I get a bottle. I'm going to get a goatee in a sec.
Oh.
No Humpty Dumpty. That's right. That's exactly right.
Humpty Dumpty. Oh, there he is.
There's the goat.
Oh, he is full on now. He's starting to jump on our backs and all sorts now, and he's playing.
Oh, he's gorgeous.
Oh no.
Oh, he's gorgeous.
I make it look like I care.
How long will it be before he's too big for you to do that?
Well, he's almost too big now to be in the house. He lives in our house still.
Oh my gosh.
What?
He's gorgeous.
Yeah, I saw the video of you playing with him, taking him for a walk the other day.
It's crazy. That's why he's got so many TikTok followers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but the thing is that at the moment, the calves, we don't have any new calves until the end of September. And, we're only down to like 30 odd calves here. So there's nothing to really show in content for that. But come the end of September, then we start getting all brand new calves again. And that's where we flat out having lots to be able to show. But at the moment, that side of the thing is rather quiet. So, hence why most videos is including Thor now. That's just the way it is. But
you gotta give him a lightning bolt shaved in the white on the side.
Yeah. It's funny. He looks like a belted Galloway, how he's got that rug put over his belly. Mm-hmm. And it goes down both sides.
And he's got a bandage on his front paw, on his front leg.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. But no, he's just booming now. So he's actually jumping around and doing, goat things.
Things. We love it. We love it.
But
well, listen, guys, I'm going to have to disappear.
Well, he's finished his bottle pretty quick now.
Oh my God,
my kids are getting a bit rowdy as well.
Yeah. My husband is. No.
Do you like
I'm joking.
Well, that's your kid. No.
Do you like his neck?
Yeah.
Do you like his neck nuts?
Neck nuts.
Oh, geez, I wasn't meant to do that.
He's taking over. He wants to show us the video description.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm trying to see. He's got these.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about neck nuts. Just saying.
But goats, they go knack, 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 knack. So you call him neck nuts. It's like he's talking to you. Go,
not sure how I feel about that. We might have to get those amputated. Not sure. Anyway.
Oh, you love your neck nuts.
No.
We lost him now. He's gone.
Daniel, it's been a joy speaking with you and hearing all about Rev. Fantastic.
But they certainly got some good things happening though, haven't they? Like, it's just obvious. And they've had their pink sale, which didn't go as well as we planned. But they weren't really able to do much marketing prior to that. So, like, that was just the way it was. But they've done a private sale prior to that. So they've got their funds to launch onto Grove Swap. And so as soon as it's launched on the Grove Swap, well, then obviously you can buy obviously the first in best dressed because it's on the exchange. Obviously from that moment it's trading. So, obviously if you're in early, that's why I want them to pick the right time of day for me. And
No, it's
you know,
fantastic.
but you know, like no financial advice, but have a look, check them out. And we're having a lot to do with Rev Token behind the scenes, guys. So you'll see them pop up in our Discord a bit. You see, I've got a channel in our Discord. You know, we're obviously collaborating behind the scenes, and as you can see, in front of the scenes. And you know, we're doing whatever we can do to try and help each other's projects out. So, and I'm not just saying it out of advantage. I like what they're doing. So, yeah,
fabulous.
it's worth a check.
I'll be looking definitely. So get yourselves into Discord, guys, if you're interested, and take it from there. But thanks very much. And as I said, Daniel, hopefully we'll get more views on the once this goes out on YouTube.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. But yeah.
Thanks for having us. We appreciate it.
Yeah. Oh, you're more than welcome.
Alrighty. Have a good day, everybody.
Yeah.
You too. Thanks, Daniel.
Thank you, Chalk, for turning up today.
The way you say that, for turning up today. It's like I never come.
Well,
you're welcome. I've enjoyed it. I've missed you.
Yeah, for the last couple of weeks, I've hardly seen you around.
I know. You know, I've had stuff going on.
I know you've had stuff going on, but you got to think of this one.
I miss you guys. I miss you, Keith, but I'm here. So, but anyway, I think we're going to say goodbye for now. Are you doing the outro or am I? Because we'll do it together and then it will clash and it'll be chaos.
Well, fine, I'll leave.
No, just kidding.
Yeah.
Take care, Daniel.
Right,
cheers,
see you
mate.
guys.
Thanks,
Bye, Daniel.
Love you all.
Bye.
Take care, everyone.
Bye,
see you later.
Buddy. Bye. Are you doing it?
Oh, what are we gonna?
Hold on.